What's going on, guys? So we wanted to try out a new thing where it comes down to not only breaking down my stocks in this weekly watch list, but as well as giving you guys a real-time breakdown for those that have the opportunity to be able to, watch this video that could be a little bit quicker. So I'm going to get straight to it, start sharing my screen, and only the people that have access to this private link and Learn Plan Profit will be able to view the specific breakdown. So let's do it. I'm going to minimize my screen so you guys can still see me. And as you guys can see, I have my watch list right here. So let's just make sure that we go down the list. The first one is going to be EDC, and I'm going to be talking about what it is that I see with EDC and why it is that I see value in it. So looking at this on this 180-day chart, there's no question that EDC is showing this ascending uptrend pattern, right? It's showing growth time after time, but the reason that I drew the support and resistance line is to be able to identify the low points and the high points based off previous patterns. There's no question that when it has these sell-offs and it breaks above the EMA, that it offers great potential as it continues to trend up, right? It did it here, right? Continued to trend up, fell below the EMA and then broke back above it, trended up, broke back above it, trended up. Now we're just waiting for the break above the EMA, and that's why I drew and set my alert at $15, waiting for the confirmation that it breaks above the EMA and for the potential based on this ascending uptrend pattern for this to hit anywhere from about based off previous highs about $128 to highs of $130. So this thing would offer anything from about 10 to 13% potential. The MACD indicator is indicating that it's almost going to signal a buy. We could see that it's oversold with the volume and stuff like that. So just again, waiting for the confirmation, then I would feel that much more confident based on previous patterns that it's going to continue to trend up. If we don't get that confirmation, there's no reason for me to take that position just now. So it's all about being patient, and that's why I see value in EDC. Going into UGAS, there's no question that UGAS has been, something that has been talked about very actively within the past couple of weeks because of its continuous downward pattern and because of the huge sell-off that it had. If we focus on this descending downward pattern, so instead of ascending, right, it's not trending up, it's trending down, but we can still scalp these specific picks by being able to identify the low points and where it usually peaks out at. We called out DGAS perfectly this past week, and we were able to make 20% plus profit on that specific call out. Let's make sure that we do just that amazing of a job when it comes down to UGAS itself. So UGAS had a support here at 724. I'm personally going to be waiting for the confirmation and the break above 750 to 760. And the reason why is the last support that it had was at that exact price point. So I want to make sure that on this 180-day chart that I could see UGAS really start to trend back up. And just because if it showed confirmation on one day, it doesn't mean much until we get that full-on confirmation. One of the things that I did notice about UGAS is that it is trending down and it continues to make new lows, and its highs are not as high as it was before. So that's why I'm calling out the resistance to be anywhere from around 850 to 880 this time, and I'm going to be waiting for the confirmation and the break above 760 and really it to hold. I not only wanted to hit highs of 760, but I wanted to hold above 750, validating that as a new support. And until it does that, I will not be swing trading UGAS. I will only be day trading it, and that's why I saw value in the breakdown for UGAS. The next one is CY. So CY is one that we've covered before. It's one that was introduced by us by one of the members within our Learn Plan Profit group, and this has a very easy pattern. So this can go one of two ways. It had a previous support and a previous resistance right around from $13 to $15. That's a nice little margin. It's very similar to DGAS itself, if you guys are familiar with that pattern. It broke that resistance at $15 and made a new resistance at $17. You might be asking, well, Ricky, it hit highs of $17.42. Wouldn't that be a resistance and $17 be a potential new support? No, it never held above $17. It hit highs of $17.42. Volume could have just pushed it there, but realistically, it did not hold above 17. So with that being said, it pulled back and it did drop below $15. So you might ask, well, Ricky, isn't it trending back down? Not 100%. We need to wait for the confirmation, and based on the previous pattern of $15 being a previous resistance, this having the potential to become a new support, that's a very common pattern. I have to wait for the confirmation. So that's why I have my alert set here at around 1550. But I'm going to set my alert as this thing breaks above the 180-day EMA, which is around 1525. So I'm going to create my alert here, set it until I'm going to set it at 1520, making sure that it gets that full-on confirmation that it's trending back up. So that, just like when it broke above $15, it went above 15, it hit highs of like 1535, but then it pulled back. The same thing can happen. It's consolidating here at 15, a little bit sub $15. I have to wait for the consolidation, so I don't want to waste my time there and have my money invested in that. I want to make sure that it starts to trend up, and then we get that confirmation, and I would feel that much more confident when it's starting to hold above the EMA line that I can ride it back from $15.30 to $17, which offers about 11% potential. The other thing that can happen that Harley brought up is that it can continue trending down and potentially hit back again $13. And that's why it's 100% so important for this thing to confirm this uptrend pattern and break above the EMA. If we don't get that confirmation, then I don't really care what happens to CY because I'm not investing in it just then. And that's why I have my alert set if it goes below $14. Let's go ahead and go over Hawk. So if you guys joined us today in the Q&A chat, you guys would have seen my call out for Hawk and this ascending uptrend pattern. This is one of the top stocks that we've been talking about for 1 or 2 months already. It has this really nice ascending uptrend pattern. It's hitting a support at $35. I'm waiting for the confirmation and the break above $35.50. So let's go ahead and set our alerts there. And then with that confirmation, I would have a better understanding that Hawk is moving back up. With this ascending uptrend pattern, its resistance is at about $38. So from $35.50 to about $38, it doesn't offer huge margins, but as a 1 week swing trade, it offers about 7% potential for profit. So just ask yourself, what is it that you're looking at? Does this pattern make sense to you? And are you going to wait for the confirmation? And do you feel comfortable taking a position after the fact? So if so, then this can be something to look into. So let's go ahead and cover FBR. You guys can see FBR is, it's showing an ascending uptrend pattern, old resistance at $14, which is becoming a new support. You see that it dropped below, started to consolidate right at that resistance, and I'm waiting for the break above EMA. So I have my alert set here until it breaks above 1430. It's going to be well above the EMA. The MACD indicator is indicating almost a buy signal, and the RSI is still indicating that it's oversold. Great indications, but we need that confirmation. I need that confirmation before I invest, my hard-earned money into something. So it's all about investing in what's growing, not just what can potentially, show signs of reversal. I'm waiting for that confirmation and that break and hold above the EMA line. So that's why I see value in FBR and the potential that this thing has from, $14.20 to highs of $16. It's about 13% potential for profit. So again, this is about a 1 week to about a 1.5 week swing trade, at least in my perspective, for the time that it takes for this thing to, fulfill that gap. So just ask yourself, is that 10 to 13% potential for profit worth it for you? If it is, great. And if it's not, you simply don't have to trade it. So the last one that we are going to be covering is GoPro. GoPro with the overall support, previous support that I had at $8, today it validated that same support. I think it's going to take some time to, I think it's going to take some time of consolidation around this lower price point for it to, start showing signs of reversal. But I just wanted to call it out because I still think that this thing has the potential to bounce pretty quick, do a double bottom here at $8, and then continue this uptrend pattern. But realistically, it does have a resistance at about $8.80. I'm waiting for the confirmation and the break above the EMA, which is around $8.30, $8.35, and that's why I have my set indications for this to be a buy more around $8.30 and cover my profits when it's at $8.70. So it doesn't offer huge margins, but again, GoPro, I feel like I know the company itself pretty well. I feel pretty confident with the pattern, and I think looking at this big picture when it comes down to this overall 180-day analysis, looking at GoPro, we're at a really low point right now. There's no question that it could do a double bottom and then show signs of reversal, and the potential or the upside is so much greater than the potential for loss. But again, it's all about waiting for the confirmation and making sure that you feel comfortable with every position that you choose to take. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to tag me in the Q&A chat for Learn, Plan, Profit. And I hope that this new way of breaking down these stocks, not only on paper, but also having me breaking them down in thought process, can better help you and assist you and guide you in the right direction. So thank you guys again so much for your time. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.